What's up guys, welcome to this review of Dolemite is My Name. This is a film about Rudy Ray Moore, played by Eddie Murphy. He's a real person, true story, about a guy who was a stand-up comedian, he was an aspiring musician and singer, and he was basically just desperate to be a star. And eventually he shifted into movies, and he was a key proponent in the black exposition movies of like the 70s and 80s. So that's essentially what this film is. It established who he is and his career, why he wanted to do all this, and it's a comedy drama. I would say it's more drama than comedy, but what did I think of the film? I think it's great. It's a really good film, probably one of the best films I've seen this year, and it's really anchored by a brilliant performance from Eddie Murphy. This is Eddie Murphy making a comeback, no doubt about that. It's one of his best performances, I would say. Maybe not one of his best of all times, but definitely one of the best in quite a while. And he makes the character so relatable and understandable and funny. He's really funny in this movie, but he's not like ridiculous, he's not like cartoonish or anything. He feels like a real person, maybe a little on the eccentric side, but because everything about him is like an act, it feels like he's really pushing, the character itself is actually pushing himself to be more eccentric and more outlandish, rather than him being that like that just in general. So I really liked how he's got the more nuanced, grounded performance when he's not in character, and when he's really got the more outlandish Dolemite character, he's getting more of like the energetic Eddie Murphy that we know from the past. But in terms of the story is a biopic. I would say it's very similar to like The Disaster Artist, particularly in the second half of the movie when they do go into him starting to make movies. But I would say this is better than the Disaster Artist. It is a little typical of biopics. It does show you like his origins and his struggles, and then his rise from rags to riches, basically. Although I don't think he ever really becomes rich exactly. But yeah, like spoilers maybe. But there are loads of other characters in there. It's not just Eddie Murphy as Dolemite. This is basically a who's who of like big African American black actors, and obviously a few exceptions here. I know you can't have everyone in there, but the cast is great. It's brilliant. Even we've got Titus Burgess in there. Wesley Snipes really playing against type in this movie. He's playing like a more flamboyant character with like, I want to say like feminine characteristics to him. It's really unusual to see Wesley Snipes portray a character of this type, and I think he does a good job of it. It doesn't delve into stereotype because they actually go into his character a bit more than just what's on the surface. So I like Wesley Snipes in there. You've got Snoop Dogg showing up a couple of times because Snoop Dogg actually had Dolemite in one of his music videos, and there's like Bob Odenkirk, Chris Rock, Craig Robinson, bunch of big stars in there. They all feel fleshed out. None of them are there for just like star appeal, it seems. A lot of them are there, and the characters feel real, they feel relatable. They're not like stereotypical or one note or anything. So that's really quite impressive. The film's got a really good soundtrack. It's set in like the 70s and so on, so it's got like a lot of jazz and blues stuff going on there, very funky, very cool kind of stuff, and it really does a good job of setting the mood and the tone and establishing that this is like New York in the 70s. But in relation to that is also the cinematography. The cinematography is a little on the typical side. When you think about this time period, you often think of like browns and oranges, like to warm, like summery colours, and that's exactly what this film does. It makes everything look like a bit oversaturated, but it adds to the colour and the depth of it all. It makes it a very warm, welcoming and accessible movie. So, but yeah, it's one of them things that it's been done before. If you've seen the TV show Luke Cage, for example, this is almost like ripping the style of both the look and the sound of that and putting it into a movie just with Eddie Murphy and making it funnier and better. So I really like the look of it, I really like the sound of it. But this is an Eddie Murphy movie. It's anchored by his performance, and his performance is brilliant. Will he get an Academy Award? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, because while yes, he's being hilarious, while yes, he's also got the more grounded stuff, I do think he doesn't, and this isn't the fault of Eddie Murphy, I think it's not a fault of the film either, but the film doesn't show him get really all that emotional, besides being like determined and focused, or being like energetic and excited or whatever. Yeah, you do get some of the more moments where he is disappointed, where he is like sulking, but you don't see him like get really down in the rough, like falling on hard times exactly. So I think that might result in Eddie Murphy's not getting the Academy Award because he doesn't show a huge range as was possible. But this is based on a true story as well. How faithful is it? I don't entirely know. Obviously, I do know about the blaxploitation films. I do know about Dolemite, the movie, and I think they've paid homage to that movie and to the blaxploitation film movement quite well. They do a good job of establishing what it's about, how it is about representing the black community who wasn't really being represented in movies at the time, and when they weren't being represented faithfully. It was a very specific look that they were getting put out across in cinemas. So Dolemite and so on went out and tried to do like, right, this is what it's actually like on the street level, in real people. And yeah, obviously Dolemite and those movies maybe didn't have the quality behind them, they certainly didn't have the budget behind them, but I think the film does a good job of establishing what that movement was, what this film was, and why it's important, and why this individual is important. So yeah, one of the things about this is because it's biopic, because it is focusing on real events, because you know what this film's about, the synopsis is essentially, it's him becoming a movie star, essentially. Going from an aspiring singer and comedian to being a movie star to becoming like a big name. That's all the film is. That's from beginning to end. So there's not a lot there that's too surprising, especially if you know this individual already, like I did. So yeah, I don't feel the need to go into spoilers. One thing I will say though is the comedy in the movie. While Eddie Murphy is hilarious at times, when he's actually in character performing the stand comedy, a lot of the jokes I just didn't get. So maybe that says something about me. I don't know. Maybe I know that American jokes often don't translate well to UK British audiences, so maybe that's something to do with it. But yeah, one of the running things in the film is that it seems that only an African American black audience really finds Dolemite funny, with a couple of exceptions here and there maybe. So I don't think this is going to be for everyone. The humour in it's not going to be for everyone. But then again, it's not really a comedy movie. It's very funny, it's got comedy in it, but it's more of a drama with comedy in there. But yeah, that's my review of Dolemite Is My Name, and I do recommend it. Go see it. I'm Grant Burton. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @the_Grant Burton. If you've liked this review, subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate that. And leave comments and feedback down below. Let me know what you thought of Dolemite Is My Name. And until next time, thanks for watching.